Hello everyone, if you're joining us after we've already been live, then feel free to skip forward to the race as we get set up. Hi Vardy, how you doing, man?
No, I've been muted this whole time. Our qualifying session took forever today, honestly.
Which one? The real life one, or?
The real life one, yeah.
Oh right, I have not seen it yet, so yeah.
Said it was like 6 red flags.
Oh Christ. Yeah, a friend told me that, well, a friend messaged me knowing not to spoil it, but clearly very happy. So, and I know which drivers they like, so, yeah. Vodi, I mean, calling me Crofty feels like the greatest insult that you can possibly give. It doesn't get worse than that.
It really doesn't.
Oh, my laptop has fully, like, had an aneurysm. Please, could you not do that? Well, looks like we're getting underway for qualifying anyway. Hopefully my laptop returns to the land of the living. But yeah, we are here in Australia. A tricky track, especially with elite settings for our drivers. I've done it before, it didn't go well. We've got a few new drivers in today, so interested to see how they do. Well, at least one anyway. And it looks like our current leader of the championship, NER Ayrton, is not here. So maybe we could get a different winner today unless he appears later on. What are your thoughts on the Melbourne Albert Park circuit, Sumo?
Albert Park, it's a very tricky circuit. It always has been. It's got a lot of very tricky corners. This corner Patty Pat's coming up to here can be very tricky if you get it all sorts of wrong. And it's a street circuit by nature. It may not look like the typical street circuit as it's set in a park, but it's say along the level of Canada where the walls are very close together and you will be punished. This area of the track, of course, it looks very different on the current iteration of the circuit. Pat goes for a little spin.
Yeah, has just proven what you said.
Yeah, there's no chicane there anymore in the real life circuit, and a few places such as turn 1, turn 3, turn 13, or is it 14? I think it's 14, have been widened in the new iteration, which we will see on next year's game, which has been announced. But it's a very tricky circuit. There's a lot of places where you can easily drop the ball, and it's punishing because the walls are so close to the track.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, as you say, very, very punishing track. And you've really got to be on your game the whole race in order to not have an embarrassing spin. And Patty Pat is into the pits now with a broken front wing, so he'll be hoping to come out again. So instead we're right on board with our newbie today. At least I haven't seen him before. It's GFO Ayrton DTS. So we've lost one Ayrton and gained another, Simo.
Yeah, we certainly have. Let's see if we can get well up onto the pace of the other Ayrton, who's not with us today. Unless this is really Ayrton in disguise, who knows?
It might well be, you never know.
It's like a tidy Sector 1 from the newbie.
Yeah, it was indeed. It was purple, of course, but no one else has done a lap yet, so... he's got a Red Bull just behind him. That could cause a problem. It looks like it's Amir who's also on a lap on those medium tyres. So Amir could end up getting blocked by the Ferrari here if he's not careful. Maybe should have left a bit of a bigger gap, the Red Bull. The reigning champion, of course, Amir, after last season's titanic battle with his now teammate Avi84. Ferrari going a little bit conservatively through there, and a spin at the last corner where you can really have a moment. It's a lot more high speed than you think that corner is. And remember, ghosting is off in ESRL, so hopefully he can get back on track without causing any issues. It does look like it. So Amir has gone into the pits, so clearly he wasn't happy with that lap. I don't know if it was because of being blocked or anything. But Myra's coming across. Yep, that's the initial pace, a 22.7. Gets quickly out of the way for the AlphaTauri just behind. Moti Peretz is starting a lap, as is... oh no, Speed Alcoholic has come across the line at 24.6 on the mediums. He's not going to be happy with that.
Here comes Tier into the pit lane.
Okay.
Happy Bunny with his lap. Avi's invalidated, of course. Good evening, Scott Marshall. How you doing, buddy? Happy birthday.
Oh, Scott, it's your birthday. You never told me. Happy birthday, mate.
I believe it was today.
Well, I hope so. If it wasn't today, then happy belated birthday.
I swear I distinctly remember waking up and saying happy birthday on the chat. Maybe I'm losing it, but we've got a Mercedes coming across the line for an outlap. That's Aces, which has invalidated, I think. Yeah, has he? Yes, he has. No. It was showing me somebody else at the same time.
Whoa, that was a huge moment out of turn 2 for Aces. Very well saved by the man in the Mercedes. Hello Lifebout in the chat as well. Quite a few people in today. That's good to see. As Aces has another moment there out of turn number 5. Nearly bins it, but he's purple through sector 1, so clearly not too bad after all. Even after those big moments, he's on the medium tyres as well, so this could be a huge lap from Aces versus Kings if he can keep it together all the way to the line, but there's still quite a few tricky corners to go.
Moti Peretz is out on circuit. He was on a lap, but he went very deep into turn 16, and I think he's going to go again. Avi invalidating for the second time in a row. So I think Aces will be the next to come across the line. He's looking on a good lap at the minute. He's just got to hook up his final couple of corners there. It looked pretty good through turn 13. I mean, that's 14. That's 15. No, that is 13. That's 14. And then there's 15. Very tricky couple of corners. It's very easy to run wide and get understeer through there. But Aces has hooked it up perfectly. He's going to run down to the line. It's not going to be quite fast enough for pole position, but it will put him on the front row.
Yeah, 24.3, so quite a way off Myra for now, and he has a spin out of turn 1. Aces, is he out of the session? No, he's still running, so he will have a chance to do another few laps. But yeah, not the greatest second outing for Aces. He did have he was pretty conservative, I reckon, through turns 11 and 12, just didn't want to spin it, so I think there's still more time to be gained by both Mercedes. As Lostock goes into P2, by the way, 4/10 down on Myra on the softs, the only other soft runner to really set a proper lap so far, as most people are on out laps at the moment. Nath Clark is coming across the line. He's a man we know has got a lot of pace. Is on the medium tyres. What's he going to do coming across the line? A 23.8, so beats out both Mercedes and gets himself into P3 for now on those mediums.
GFO Ayrton's back out on circuit. He's going for another attempt after spinning on the first one. He's got a bit of traffic on his run though. He's got a Red Bull just ahead of him. I think that's Avi just ahead. So it's a reverse of what happened last time. With the Ferrari, but it doesn't look to be affecting him too much. He comes across the sector line. He's gone faster than the first time he went through sector 1. As the Red Bull gets his way out of the way, he's coming down towards sector 2 now. Turns 9 and 10 can be quite tricky. We saw Patty Pat go for a spin on his outlap there, but the Ferrari of GFO gets through there well, and it's the tricky, very fast 11 and 12. 12 can be very harmful to you, but he keeps away from that very dangerous curve on the run down towards turn 14.
I think I'm going to christen him Ayrton 2. That's what we'll call him from now on.
Ayrton 2.
It's a lot less tongue-twisty than GFO Ayrton. But round he comes. The final corner now. Easy to understeer through there, as you said, but decent from Ayrton 2 as he comes across the line now in the Ferrari. It's a 24.3, so not quite on the pace as Nath Clark just behind him improves further. Not quite enough for the front row, but a 23.1 on the mediums. Nath Clark is here for the win, I think, Sumo.
Yeah, certainly so. I think he will be out for it. He might not even come back out on those on for a lap. We'll have to wait and see as not everybody's come out for a qualifying lap yet, as Tier puts himself at the bottom of the runners. He's had a horrible lap there. I'm definitely looking to improve upon that. I think Amir's on an out lap as well. Yes, he is. I'm trying to find. Who's Too Much will be the next car to cross the line in the AlphaTauri. He'll be setting his first lap of the session, which we are now firmly halfway through.
Yeah, here he comes. I keep forgetting I'm not the onboards man from Tuesday. I keep switching to different people, but Hoots Too Much across the line now, a 24.7. Slots in just behind the two Mercedes, but they did their laps on the mediums. Don't forget. I'm going to ride on board with last season's runner-up, Avi84 in the Red Bull. He's coming through sector 3 now. Got to hook up these last few corners. It looks like he's doing pretty well, Avi. Around the final corner, which I believe has been widened quite a lot in this year's edition of the track. And he comes across the line and takes provisional pole with a 22.1. Much better than Myra's lap. So definitely still time to be gained on this track from our drivers today.
Myra is out on circuit right now, looking to improve. Tears is going to look to improve as well. He's 4 seconds up on his previous best. It should see him a little bit closer. Yes, it does. It's a 25.1. So he's well up the order this time around. ESRL Sicario. He's coming over the line.
Not too bad for him.
23.2. It's a respectable lap from the Alfa Romeo driver. I think we've got ESRL coming to start the lap there. I'm sure Rick will kill me for the pronunciation of that name, but you know. How about you try commentating, Rick? Huh? People in their tricky names.
Yeah, I'd like to see Rick pronounce some of the crazy names that we have to put up with. Patty Pat coming across the line now in the Aston Martin. He's gone P6 with a 23.3. So quite a way off the top pace. Oh yeah, speed alcoholic.
Quite far up on the timing board.
Oh wow.
He is 21.4 from the South African. A great lap from him.
That's much more like it. As Scott said in chat, this is one of Speed's favourite tracks. So don't be surprised to see him put it on pole today and maybe even take the win, especially with Ayrton not here. Who else is coming across? ESRL coming through turn 2 now. It looks like he was purple through sector 2, but I don't trust purple in sector 2 on this game. I'm sure it's a decent lap though from the Haas driver. Here he comes now through the final few corners. Looks pretty decently hooked up from the Dutchman. And round he comes through the final corner. Going to be a lot easier to take next year, but here he comes now. He's going to have the slight slipstream from the car ahead, and he goes into P3 at 22.5. Not bad at all from ESRL. Who else is coming across the line? Wumax is on a lap. Amir is on a lap.
Aces is coming across the line now to set a lap. It's looking fairly quick. He goes up to P7 with that. He gets himself firmly in the top 10. But there'll definitely be some time for him to find out there. Pat coming around the final. He's going into the pit lane. The other is a Ferrari out on track. Ayrton 2 is on the out lap, so I think this might be his final lap of the evening, of the night. No, he's got a little bit of time, perhaps. He can get back round quick enough. We've lost Lostock. Has crashed at turn 4.
Oh dear.
See if we can see what happened on board of Infamous.
Yep, me too.
Yeah,
there's the stricken car. Oh no! Infamous forgets that ghosting is off. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, you can't help but laugh a bit at that one. that was quite comical. I'm sure Infamous will not be laughing.
I think that should be a red flag, really.
Yeah, it should be. That's going to muck up the laps of all the cars behind. As Ayrton has managed to avoid them, luckily, Ayrton 2. Amir has gone up into P4, by the way, the Red Bull. Reigning champion. He's onto the second row, so a lot better from him. Lostock's done a Sebastian Vettel, exactly. Scott says that Simps has now joined, and he is hopefully very quick, one to watch. So we'll keep an eye on the Alfa Romeo, who's in the pits now. But it's currently Speed Alcoholic, unmatched at the top of the standings, 21.4 compared to Avi's 22.1. So maybe Simps can put a dent into that time from Speed Alcoholic.
Speaking of putting dent in times, Ayrton 2 is 2 tenths up on his previous best. He's coming through the final couple of corners now. It's not going to be a huge improvement from the Ferrari unless he can find a bit more time there. He's running on the very limits of minimum fuel, but he improves by 3 tenths, but he stays P12.
Yeah, better lap from Ayrton 2, but if it is Ayrton in disguise, he's having a bad day. But I'm sure the Ferrari will just be happy to be racing in what I think is his first race in ESRL, and we're glad to see more drivers join the league. Who have we got on a lap? Is that Avi 84? It is.
He's up on a lap as well.
Oh yeah, Hoots Too Much is
400 up on their previous best.
Okay, so Hoots is going to struggle to find their way up the grid. Avi 84 is purple through sector 1 though, so maybe the Red Bull might be able to challenge Speed's time, although I think Speed is going to be gaining a lot of time in these last couple of sectors, so Avi really needs to put his foot on the gas, as it were. Coming through sector 2 now, only a tenth up, so it's not quite on the level of Speed's lap. And has he backed out of it? No, he's just hugging the inside wall. So around the final sector he comes. Don't invalidate here, very easy to do. And here as well, you can go too far on the inside or on the outside on the exit. But Avi navigates it well. And round the final corner he comes now. The Ferrari getting out of the way, going into the pit lane. Avi opens the DRS down towards the line, and it's going to be a 22.2, so actually not a good sector 3 from the Red Bull after a very promising first sector.
Yeah, I think he maybe got a little bit distracted by the Ferrari that was coming into the pit lane there. Very easy to do. It's a very tricky corner. You're all the way over on the right, and you've immediately got to go left.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, Sumo. Simps, I think pushing a little bit too hard for turn one, went straight over the gravel, so is not going to be challenging speed, at least for this lap. As Myra, by the way, has gone into P2 in the Alpine, onto the front row, only 4 tenths down on speed, so perhaps the Mercedes man could be challenged yet, but there's not long to go in the session, just 50 seconds. So not very much time for anyone to improve. I think Simps has got enough time for another lap. Yes, he should do, unless he spins it. Wow, that was close. 40 seconds to go in the session. I think he can make it to the line, as Motorpedets has retired from the session. That's at turn 2. Let's go on board with Patty Pat to see what happened. Sorry, turn 4. And it's similar to what, who was it, Lostock did earlier on.
You have to be careful. Amir's coming up that way, and he is on a lap right now.
Ooh.
I think that Ferrari's parked on the racing line.
It
so
is.
unless it moves out of the way soon, I think that's going to affect
gone.
the lap. It's already gone.
Thank goodness
that's
for that.
Very lucky for Amir, as he's on the lap right now. He's 2 tenths up on his previous best. I could see him push ESRL down a place, but he's going to have to try and find some more time throughout the rest of the lap.
Yeah, he is indeed, but it's looking decent from Amir. He was certainly right on the limit through turn 6. The reigning champion, Avi, has finished, is not going to improve, 22-1. Myra is into the pits, also not going to improve. So I think it's all on Amir here to see if anyone can challenge speed for pole. Simps is also in the pit, so is not going to improve, going to start from the back. Here comes Amir now.
Spin at 12, so that's going to be his qualifying over.
That's a shame for him. Here comes the Red Bull. Hopefully he doesn't get blocked by the Aston Martin. Oh, that's dangerous there. Aston Martin could have gotten out of the way a little bit better than that, but the Red Bull now opens the DRS all the way to the line. It's not going to challenge speed, but it is going to beat ESRL into P4, so it's a Red Bull second row lockout. Unless ESRL can improve. 6 tenths up, but oh no, it looks like has lost an end plate. I think that must have been a turn 12 spin, Sumo.
Yeah, that spun at turn 12. I did say during Amir's lap, I spotted the yellow flags just behind him. He spun at turn 12 and hit the wall. It's so easy to do at that corner. I've had many a race end in that particular way, but that is going to be your grid, as ESRL was the last driver to come across the line.
Indeed, and ESRL, I think, is going to be desperately disappointed with that, with 6 tenths up through sector 2. Yeah, sector 2. So if he had just found maybe a little bit more time in sector 3, could have been on the front row. But down in P5 behind the 2 Red Bulls, still not bad, but it's always disappointing when you have what you think is an outrageous qualifying lap and then bottle it near the end. But that is it for your qualifying here in Australia. We've got Speed Alcoholic on pole by 4 tenths. South African looking to secure a first win of the season, and it would be a first win for anyone not named NER Ayrton this season. Myra also P2, the Finn, good qualifying for them. Avi 84 P3 in the Red Bull, and Amir, the reigning champion, P4. ESRL P5, followed by Sicario Lostock. Nath Clark in the AlphaTauri on medium tyres, interestingly, so Nath Clark one to watch. Ace vs Kings P9, Patty Pat rounds out the top 10, and then Womax. Ayrton 2, Hoots to Much, Tier, Infamous on the mediums, Moti Peretz in 16th, and then Simps, also a South African, will start from the back of the grid after joining qualifying a little bit late and being unable to set a lap, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was an interesting qualifying session. We saw a lot of few incidents. It's a different beast, these ESRL sessions. As you've really got to be careful, as cars will not ghost, so you've got to get out of the way. And in qualifying, when you're on the limit, sometimes that can be difficult.
Absolutely. Infamous finding that out the hard way. As just went straight into the DNF Ferrari, expecting it to ghost, and Yeah, well, we saw the result. um, so it looks like we're just waiting for the session to get underway. We've got 4 people in the chat. Make sure you've all given the stream a like. And also give us your podium predictions in the comments. Love to hear them as the formation lap is about to get underway.
Well, Speed's just come off the back of a Tier 1 race that went terrible over in APPF1. So I think he's got a point to prove this evening. So I think Speed will be the man taking the top step this evening. But it's going to be tough to pick the rest of the podium. But I think we'll definitely see one of the Red Bulls up there. I think Avi P2 and I'm going to go ESRL P3. I'm not sure what compels me to say that. But...
Well, I'm going to say Speed, followed by Nath Clark, followed by Avi. That's what I'm going to say for the podium. Lifebout says Ayrton 2, followed by Rick, followed by Scott, which is, well, I think there are miracles, and then there are drivers not even on the track getting on the podium. So Scott says Speed, Amir and Avi. He reckons a double podium for Red Bull. I wouldn't put it past them. They've been fantastic this season, the Red Bulls, and they are leading the constructors at the moment, quite rightly so. They had a disaster of a race in Jeddah, where it was looking decent for both of them, and then they both span out in the space of about 30 seconds near to the end of the race. It was lap 22. So yeah, that wasn't the greatest weekend for them, but they're still at the top of the standings in the constructors, and will be looking to keep it that way.
Yeah, certainly so. Just looking at the tyre strategies right now, most drivers opting to start on the soft tyres, especially those in the top 10, with Nath Clark being the only driver to qualify on the medium tyre. Womax, Hoots Too Much and Infamous SMG have all put on a set of the yellow wall tyre. Ayrton 2, his teammate and Simps all opted for the softs, and Tier, the only driver to start on the hard tyre.
Yeah, an interesting choice from Tier. I think he will struggle these first few laps for sure, but we'll be hoping to go all the way for softs at the end, I think. But if there's an early safety car, that will put a wrench in that plan. But we'll have to see what happens, as we're about to get underway now. The lights are about to go out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in Melbourne. And we're underway. They held for a while, but Speed Alcoholic gets a good start off the line. Myro as well, but Speed just much better than everyone else. Another fantastic start for the South African tonight, and he takes the lead of the race. Myra P2, Avi in P3. We've got a spinner at the back. That's an Alfa Romeo. It's ESRL Sicario has gone for a spin. We've got another Haas. Apple going down the inside of Nath Clark. Further back, Nath Clark all the way up into P5 already on those medium tyres, and he's beaten Apple through turn 5. Brilliant stuff from the Alpha Tauri. But it looks like the top 4 have gotten away well. Infamous up 5 positions as well. Simps up 5 positions. We were warned to keep an eye on him, and already up to P12. So got to certainly have a look at that. Womax is also right side by side with Infamous. Now, as the Alfa Romeo behind Simps tries to get involved, there's a crash further behind between Hoots Too Much, and I think that was Tier as well. But we've got to keep an eye on this battle, this three-way battle between Infamous, Womax and Simps. The 2 Ferraris trying to follow them behind as well. Lostock trying to get past his teammate of Patty Pat as well. The 2 Aston Martins going at it. But looks like things have calmed down a little bit. There's another crash. That's Sicario again at turn 12. He has not had a good start to this race. But down to P17 he goes. He'll be hoping for an early safety car.
All over the back of Womax coming through turn 16. And I think that's going to be a position for him. They're going to go side by side all the way down to turn 1. And I think Sims has got that position done and dusted. He has. He's going to go chasing after Infamous in the Alpine now. And he's got himself into P11 and looking on the top 10.
Womax isn't done yet. He has a look down the inside, but the Alfa Romeo covers it off. And I think that will be Simps keeping P11. And as you say, we'll be off after Infamous, but already a 3-second time penalty, so pushing just a little bit too much. 3 warnings already. That does not bode well for the Alfa Romeo. If you're quick but you get too many penalties, that can happen, as Lostock has to go through a cloud of smoke after a lock-up from his teammate Patty Pat. But here comes Aces down the inside of E-Rapple, coming into turn 11. They're side by side, and the Haas does indeed back out of that one. Very sensible from the Dutchman. Not going to go side by side through 11 and 12. That is not going to work. Aces up into P6. I'm going to switch to the tyres as E-Rapple goes for a spin.
Whoa.
Oh no, just a bit too much on the grass perhaps.
The other Haas has also spun at the same time.
Oh dear, oh dear. So not a good time for the Hasses at the moment, as E-Rapple tries to get back on the track, but all the way down to P14. So there goes the prediction of Sumo, unfortunately. Ace versus Kings right on the back of Nath Clark, who is now struggling on those medium tyres. Can Aces take advantage? I got a message from Scott in chat saying that Nath might retire in the pits as he's not feeling too well, so I hope he can make it to the end. Yeah, prioritize your health, mate. Don't keep racing if it's not good for you. ERL Sicario has had a DNF at turn 12, and that will be a safety car, or is it a virtual?
That's a virtual safety car at the moment. I think it might turn into a full course caution, but it's not looking at the moment.
Well, we've got full course yellows. It doesn't say whether it's a safety car or virtual on my screen.
It says virtual on my screen. I can see.
Okay, so that is good to know. Speed Alcoholic getting past the stricken Alfa Romeo, who has had a nightmare start to this race and leaves the session. A very disappointed driver, I'm sure.
There's also a distinct lack of a yellow dot around turn 2.
That's true. That's very true.
That will always tell you. Max Geller says, stop the count, my top 3 is in order.
No one is coming into the pits, it looks like, except Patty Pat, who does try and take advantage of the VSC. In he comes. It will be not too much time gained. There's certainly not as much as a full safety car, but it will be quite a bit for the Aston Martin. So hoping to take advantage of that. Onto the mediums he goes, so clearly a 2-stop for the Aston Martin, as we still wait for this VSC to come to a close. E-Rapple's got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so his day has gone from bad to worse. And DRS now enabled. We're back under green flag racing, and Myra already at 1.1 seconds behind Speed Alcoholic, who is charging off to try and win this race. But Avi in close proximity to Myra, the 2 Red Bulls, trying to keep up with the Alpine as Simps gains another position on Infamous. That's a very unconventional overtaking place. Must have been a switchback move, I reckon, but Simps getting on the grass on entry, and that will definitely compromise the braking of the Alfa Romeo. Is Infamous going to have a go into turn 11? Oh, I wouldn't try it, Infamous, and indeed stays behind and waits for a better opportunity, which is now about to come. Here we go, the DRS and the overtake button round the outside of Simps, who's not going to let this go lightly. Simps brakes very late, but oh, I thought that was too late, but no, Simps makes the corner, but Infamous back down the inside again at the next corner, and they're still battling these two, but Simps stays ahead for now, and there's a little bit of contact as they come through. Yeah, pushing the Alfa Romeo through is Infamous. Simps struggling to stay on track. Might be a lack of practice.
He's going on the inside of Aces versus Kings, gets the place position done, and we go back straight to this battle between Simps and Infamous.
I'm going to keep on board with aces because back down the inside of Lostock he goes, but not going to commit to that move. And Lostock up into P6. Infamous trying to go around the outside and tries to switch back, but Simps covers that off beautifully, and Infamous no way through there. So the Alpine has to wait for another opportunity. Although those medium tyres, I think, are going to mean that at least for now, Infamous is going to lose time, and that lockup is not going to help anything as Wumax now gets involved in this battle.
Infamous has the very infamous glitch of not having a helmet.
Oh, brilliant.
Not Infamous,
on
Simps, sorry.
On my screen,
Simps.
oh, it's Simps. Yeah, it's Simps. There it is. The helmetless driver, I'm sure that violates some section of the FIA rulebook, but we'll let it slide here in ESRL. Myra, by the way, has closed back up to speed, so it's not over yet. Within a second is the Alpine. And hoping to keep that consistency. Clearly the qualifying pace is not translating to the race pace for Speed Alcoholic, as the fastest lap switches hands about 4 separate times there in quick succession, but Amir holds it for now. Infamous is indeed losing time to Simps, and now Wumax is going to be on the attack pretty soon. We've got to keep on board with these guys, but keep an eye on those gaps at the top as well, because there may be some moves being made in the next few laps if Myra can stay within DRS range of Speed Alcoholic. Is Infamous going to have a go? Brakes far too late and hits the back of the Alfa Romeo. It's a dream come true for Wumax, but he can't take advantage of it as Simps has to cut the corner to avoid a collision.
Nath Clark's had a spin.
Yeah, Nath Clark's had a spin down to P7, and Simps just behind the Alpha Tauri now. There's no visible damage to Nath Clark's car.
And Avi's right on the back of Moira. I think Moira might be in a bit of danger here. They've dropped out of the DRS range, and Avi's going to come barreling down the inside and gets the move done quite quickly. Moira's going to come back on the attack though, looking for the inside line, but it's not going to happen. It's going to slot in behind. Amir's going to look to try and make a play on for the last spot on the podium. I don't know why I can't speak of it. Infamous is retired. He's crashed on track. There's been a big crash.
That is a
back
safety
with Nath
car.
Clark.
That is a safety car. So Avi will keep that P2. But all the top 4 are just past the pit lane. It's terrible timing for them. Amir's got to be careful not to hit the safety car as he comes around turn 2. Infamous, after a fairly horrific qualifying, where he forgot that ghosting was off, is now out of the session. Nath Clark had a spin just before as well. It was both at turn 12, so I don't know if something might have happened there.
Ghost, I don't know what's going on at Aston Martin, but this could be quite a good turn of fortune for them, as Patty Pat's going to gain a lot of positions here off of the back of this safety car.
That's a great point. On those medium tyres, Patty Pat up to P8 Lostock is now P6. Moti Peretz has stayed out. That is going to cost him big time, as he's going to drop right to the back, I reckon. But
Patty Pat spins.
Oh dear, Patty Pat. That is not what you want to be doing at all. Wumax has got to be careful not to hit the Aston Martin, and indeed slows down to avoid any sort of collision. Yeah, Patty Pat not having the greatest day there. A spin under the safety car, caught by the commentary stream. That is not what you want to see. We've got Myra, the top 4, coming into the pits now, but is it too late? How much time have they lost? They haven't caught up to the safety car, so they have been a little bit lucky in that respect. They all managed to overtake the safety car. So I don't know if they're actually going to lose any time, but Speed Alcoholic's lead
could be close enough to do it. But I don't think. I think Speed's out of the pit lane already.
Yeah, and Moti into the pits, so we'll drop all the way to the back, I'm afraid, the Ferrari. What about Lostock? Is Lostock going to gain any positions from this? Where is Amir? Amir is just coming out the pit lane now. The double stack for the Red Bulls could have cost them there, but it doesn't. Lostock not quite ahead of them, so the top 4 get away with the poor safety car timing and stay in those positions, as Simps up to P7. Moti Peretz still in the pits. How many more positions will the Ferrari lose? Another couple. Down to P10 goes the Israeli. Yeah, Avi 84, perfect timing for the Red Bull. Just as he got past Myra, the safety car comes out and lets him keep his position as Nath Clark has retired in the pit lane. That's a shame. So get well soon, Nath Clark. Good to see you at least try and be on track, but your health comes first, mate. Yeah, Speed Alcoholic still leading the race under the safety car as we wait for everyone to come back underneath the rest of the pack.
There's at least one Aston Martin leading the pack around the circuit right now, while the other two, Stock has gained a few positions off of this safety car. Patty Pat not so much with his little pirouette down at turn 4, which won't be helping his campaign for a good race this evening. But the top 4 staying as they were. Avi getting ahead of Myra before the safety car. Myra could be under threat from Amir back there, but we're waiting to see what happens after the green flag comes out. We were just waiting for Tyr and Hoods Too Much to catch onto the back, leave Tyr as a lap down. At least I think that's Tyr, or is that Irapel? That's Irapel. Tyr is amongst the pack. But it's definitely a lap down.
Yeah, that's a shame for Tyr. That's pretty much race over as soon as you get lapped. But back out the pits he comes. And yeah, huge shame for Tyr, but I'm sure he'll nonetheless enjoy driving around the track for the next 20 laps on his own without anyone to crash into. But out the pits he comes. And a fresh set of mediums. Maybe he'll go for fastest lap at the end. That'll be interesting. Because Tyr does like a last-minute fastest lap. He's done it a few times in APPF1. As Apple manages to get a 3-second time penalty under the safety car, as does his teammate Tyr just afterwards. So yeah, not sure what to say about that one.
I'd imagine the safety car will come in the snap. Alpha Tauri's not too far away from the back. It's just about one corner away from the back of the grid now.
Yeah, I think we'll get the safety car in this lap and we'll be back underway for green flag racing. Although the lights have not gone out yet, so I think we might... Oh no, it is in a lap. It is in, there we go. So Speed Alcoholic will set the pace now. Avi84 going to have to try and catch out the Mercedes. Try and get in the head of the South African. Safety car restarts are sort of a test of racing intelligence, really. If you get them at the right time and... get them in a time which is very likely to catch out the car behind you, you can gain a huge amount of time. But Speed Alcoholic is being followed right behind by Avi. He has gone, but Avi has not lost too much time, but Myra is right behind as well. Here comes the Alpine. We've got a ride on board with Myra trying to go down the inside of Avi, but no move being made there. Speed's gone for a spin. Speed's gone. Oh no. And Myra's gone as well. There's a huge crash at turn 2. Many cars out. Myra's out of the session. So many cars losing their front wings. That's a huge chain reaction there. One crash spawned another, and the two Red Bulls now lead 1-2. Ace versus Kings trying to go around the outside of Amir. Amir's got wing damage, and Simps goes into the back of him. There's more carnage happening. Amir is going to drop all the way down the grid. Moti Peretz into P6, Eat Apple P7. There's more going on. We've got to watch Patty Pat, who's trying to go down the inside of Simps now, but doesn't quite make the move, although Simps has gone straight on at the corner. And so Patty Pat could still get that P3, and does indeed. Patty Pat into P3. Rumax P4 just behind. Aces and Avi well ahead of the rest of the pack, but Avi is in a league of his own right now. Here comes Wumax on Patty Pat, who's got a terrible exit out of turn 12. Is the Williams going to be able to make a move? Dummies to the inside, but doesn't quite have the bottle to go for a late breaking move. GFO Ayrton 2 goes down the inside of Simps, meanwhile, who also got a terrible exit. I don't know if the Alfa Romeo has damage. Perhaps as going very slowly, so I think Simps may well have damage. And we may see the Alfa Romeo come into the pits, unfortunately. But Eat Apple right behind Moti Peretz as well. There's so much happening at the safety car restart. Two cars out the session. So many broken front wings on the exit of turn 2. A huge chain reaction crash as E-Rappel now tries to go around the outside. Ayrton 2 gets past Hoots to Much, and E-Rappel breaks far later than Moti Peretz. Great late braking move from the Haas into P5. He goes. I've got to catch my breath, Sumo.
Yeah, I watched. I was riding on board with Myra during that restart, and the spin caused Avi to slow down, which then Myra went to go around the outside of Avi as the safety car comes out yet again.
Yep.
And Myra slowed down to not hit speed, which then obviously caused the rest of the crashes along. I think Myra went to speed back up or had some contact, went into the wall, and then caused a lot of carnage as Myra lost control of the car.
Yeah, well, I think I was riding on board with Myra as well, and yeah, similarly, I think the car behind just wasn't expecting Myra to slow down, and untold carnage was the result. Speedaholic is down to P10. Aces comes into the pits for, I would assume, a set of mediums. It is a set of mediums.
He is actually retired from the race.
Yeah, Mir has retired. That was in the pit lane, I believe. So I think Amir might have had enough.
I think Patty Pat might have got some damage.
Yeah, maybe. That's a shame for the Aston Martin, who was running very well. But
and
all
Aces
the way
is
down.
in as well.
Yeah, Aces has come out in P6, which is not too bad, given the safety car, and it's going to be on those fresh mediums, and I'm assuming we'll go to the end. And those cars up ahead are going to struggle towards the end of the race if they do try and eke those tyres out. Hoots too much into the pits as well for a set of mediums. Lostock on the hards further back, and Tier still a lap down, unfortunately. So despite all the carnage, that's what happens as soon as you get lapped in this game. You're just absolutely screwed. Doesn't matter what happens, you are still going to be in last.
Yeah, there's no unlapping yourself under the safety car. Feature that will probably skip next year's F1 game as well. Like many features, but we won't get into that.
Well, we've got a safety car. Why not? Let's have a big sumo rant about Codemasters and EA.
Oh, go on there. You've pulled me leg. We got a little bit of time. So next year's game. First of all, Albert Park will look a lot different on next year's game. We'll get the all of the track updates, and we'll even get Miami on launch, which is awesome. That's cool. We didn't get that in this year's game, but we did on this one. That's a good thing. VR support, of course, is coming, which I know a lot of the people who use VR, I don't, but a lot of the VR community have been asking for. That's another good thing about this game. But where it falls off is, first of all, it's EA. There's a lot of confusion about what's even going on with the game. Nobody knows exactly what features we are and aren't getting. And then we're getting pointless features, which happens a lot in F1 20, any F1 Codemasters games, of course. I found the story mode in F1 2021 a nice addition, but overly pointless. It didn't really add much to the game, other than something that we didn't really want. And F1, My Life? My F1 Life or something?
F1 Life, yeah.
F1 Life. You get some cosmetics that you're never going to use. You get some You get to show off some supercars to your friends in a game about Formula One. I don't understand that. They haven't added cross-compatibility between different platforms, which sucks. It means people like me who own a PC and a console and have people who play F1 on both has to buy 2 copies of the game, which is silly. Cross-compatibility shouldn't be difficult these days with the amount of games that have it. And the largest thing, which I'm most disappointed about, is the non-inclusion of other formulas of Formula One, such as, well, other formulas at least, so the Formula 3 and the W Series being 2 that they've really missed out on there. But that's eaten up the whole chunk of the safety car period, as it is in this lap. Rant officially over, but that's what I think of F1 22, and I think F1 Manager might just pip that game this year.
Maybe, just maybe. I for one am very much looking forward to F1 Manager. We saw ESRL had a little bit of a moment under the safety car just then on the run to turn 12. I don't think he got any damage, luckily, but that time penalty is still going to be an issue for the Haas towards the end of this race. Avi84 is your leader at the moment, so he will control the pace and decide when to punch it. Amir in chat has said that the game forced him to retire, but Avi has gone already and caught Womack sleeping there. 1.1 seconds, what a restart from the Red Bull. ESRL did get damaged, so is into the pits. Disaster for the Haas. Who's that side by side up ahead? That speed, is that Simps or I can't see. Oh, it's Tier getting out the way of everyone. As Patty Pat goes far too deep into turn 1 and onto the gravel and loses a couple of positions there. Ace versus Kings round the outside of Ayrton 2 in the Ferrari. Is he going to go for the switchback? Yes, he is, but the Ferrari covers him off. Very difficult to do a successful switchback at turn 4, and Ace is not able to do it there. We've got more yellow flags. I don't know who's had a spin there, but looks like everything's okay up front. Moti Peretz just behind Womack as well, who's already 3.5 seconds down on Avi84. Wow.
Here comes Aces again. He's going to look to the inside of turn 9. It's going to be very tight between the two of them, but great respect shown. Ayrton goes very deep and lets both the Mercedes pass.
And Simps as well.
Simps as well.
Yeah, down the inside. Ayrton 2 losing 3 positions in one corner. That's such an unfortunate turn of events for the Ferrari. It could be a 4th position here as Patty Pat is just behind. I'm going to run involved with the Mercedes just to see if anything's happening there. No, so Speed Alcoholic still in P5. Yeah, Patty Pat down the inside of Ayrton 2. I think that Ferrari is really struggling. Simps gets another 3-second time penalty though. That's up to 6, I believe, for the Alfa Romeo, as Ayrton 2 is really struggling at the moment as Aces has gotten past Moti Peretz, and Speed Alcoholic down the inside as well, looking to get past the Ferrari, but Moti Peretz far better on the straight due to the slipstream from Aces versus Kings, and Speed not able to make the move there. Got to be careful of Simps just behind as well. Not anymore, because Simps has gone over the gravel, and here comes Speed again round the outside of the Ferrari. Is the move going to be made? Yes, it is. Moti Peretz backs out and lets the Mercedes go, and Speed back into P4 after that spin earlier on.
Oh, here comes Simps on all over the back of Moti Peretz now. He's got a lot of penalties on him at the minute, so it's not going to help him out too much, but if he can get up with Aces and Speed, he can get some decent points.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that penalty is definitely going to hamper him, or those penalties rather. But as long as he can get up the grid, I think he'll be happy for his first race in ESRL, but nearly has a spin there. And just about manages to save it. It's got to be careful of Patty Pat. Yeah, here comes Patty Pat up to turn 11. Side by side they go through turn 11 and 12. Patty Pat all the way around the outside. Off track a little bit, but I don't think there was anything wrong with that. As Patty Pat up into P6. And now chases Moti Peretz, who's already lost 2 seconds to the Mercedes pair. And Womack's already 5.5 seconds behind Avi, who is in a league of his own right now. Patty Pat sees the lockup from Moti Peretz and knows the Ferrari is going to be vulnerable. DRS enabled up ahead, but not yet for the Aston Martin. So he's going to have to see if he can make the move into turn 1 or maybe turn 3 later on if Moti gets a poor exit. Watch the Ferrari. Myra's left the
Oh,
session.
there's a
Oh, we've got
spin.
another spinner. That's
Aces.
Aces. Aces versus Kings has had a spin at turn 2. Simps is going to get past, as is Ayrton 2. Hoots to Much has passed Simps. Patty Pat is round the outside of Moti Parettes. They're side by side through turn 4. There's contact, and Moti into the wall. The Ferrari loses the front wing. Contact between the two. They were side by side. There's another safety car out. 3 safety cars in what, about 7 laps?
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, I don't know if Patty Pat lost it on the exit, but definitely seemed to come across. There was some.
Yeah,
It was an odd bit of contact.
I'm not sure if he didn't realise he was there or not. It didn't look like he lost it. I was riding on board with Patty Pat at the time, but it did certainly look a bit odd. I'm sure the stewards might have a look at that one, perhaps.
Yeah, I think so. Avi is going to be fuming at this third safety car. He has extended 8 seconds to Womax, but now he's going to have to come into the pits for new tyres and might lose the position to Speed Alcoholic, who I think is going to stay out. No, Speed comes in. That's surprising. Is Patty Pat going to stay out? I wouldn't put it past him. Avi onto the softs will go to the end, and Patty Pat does indeed stay out. I know him too well. Womax into the pit, Speed as well. Womax should go onto the softs here, and does indeed. So Patty Pat will now lead the race. Hoots to Much will be in P2 at this point. And I mean, if you predicted that would, well, if you claim that you predicted that before this race, I would say you are lying.
Mm-hmm. You're another 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Dear, oh dear. That's twice he's done that under the safety car. It's just... I'm sure he's going to be furious with himself, but yeah, there's just no need. There's no need to do that.
No.
Avi84 down in P3 now is going to be hoping to get past Patty and Hoots as quickly as possible, because he's got Womax just behind, and Speed Alcoholic is going to be the real threat. The Mercedes in P5 just behind, and I don't think Womax is going to be able to hold the Mercedes back for very long, assuming there's no more crashes, of course. So I think Patty and Hoots are going to struggle massively to keep anyone behind, and I think as soon as the safety car comes in, they are going to drop like a stone. But I don't know, we shall see. Speed Alcoholic, Aces has gone into the mediums, interestingly, so I don't know if Aces has been on the softs before now, or whether he just thinks that the mediums will be better because they'll survive better towards the end of the race. But interesting decision. Ayrton 2 clearly in the same mindset, as is Moti Parettes in P9. Simps down in P8 for now.
Yeah, I'll have to wait and see how that plays out. I was thinking Simps has done well to get himself up to where he is, but throughout the time I've watched him race, first of all he's got these penalties which aren't going to help him out at all, as looks like Haas is coming to the pit lane, that's clear. Secondly, it's one thing for somebody to be fast, it's another thing to be consistent. And Simps has made a lot of big mistakes that have lost him out a lot of positions in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at that bouncing front wing on my stream. I don't know if you saw it, but yeah, Simps definitely fast, but a lot of lockups, a lot of missed braking zones, a lot of just getting a bit wide out of corners, and just a lot of mistakes, as you say, really hampering his effort to get up the grid. He started in last place, remember, so it's not too bad for him to be in P8, but those penalties as well really going to cost him at the end of this race, especially if there's another safety car towards the end, and at this rate I would not doubt it.
Indeed, indeed. We're going to have, I think the safety car should definitely be in this lap. We're going to have 11 laps, well 10 laps I suppose, of racing action under green flags, hopefully. Patty Pat and Hoots Too Much have got a mountain to climb to keep Avi, Womack and Speed behind them. There is a chance that they do it if Hoots Too Much holds up the guys behind and Patty Pat just gets away. But Patty Pat will now become the effective safety car as one Aston Martin goes into the pits and leaves another to lead the pack around.
Indeed. Hoots Too Much going to be looking to see as Patty Pat, I mean... Okay, it looked like he was trying to go, which was far, far too early. But I don't think Patty Pat has led many races when the safety car has come in. He's perhaps not too familiar with controlling the pace when a safety car comes in, but he's doing a bit of a better job of it now, slowing the pack down. When is he going to punch it? The Aston Martin, Hoots Too Much just behind, trying to psych him out. Speed Alcoholic has gained a position under safety car, which is very odd, but Paddy Pat has punched it. He's caught Hoots Too Much out. Avi84 is one who is not caught out as Hoots Too Much tries to gain the slipstream. Avi just behind as well. It's a lot of weaving going on there. That's very, very odd from the top three, but here comes Avi round the outside at turn 2 of Hoots Too Much. Already making the move is the Red Bull. Into P2 goes Avi. Is Hoots going to fight back? He's going to try, but is not going to be able to, and Womax is under pressure from Speed as well, down the inside. That was out of nowhere, the Mercedes, and Speed up into P4. Great stuff from the South African, who's now going to be after Hoots Too Much and could go down the inside into turn 6. That's going to be an interesting endeavour, but doesn't quite manage to do it. Sorry, I think that's turn 8. But I think he's going to make the move now down the inside. Is he going to brake late? No, he's going to back out of it and wait for a better opportunity. There's one. Hoots Too Much locks up and Speed up into P3 as Womax also takes advantage and gets past the AlphaTauri, who's not given up though. Still side by side with the Bulgarian as they come into turn 11. That's very risky, but Womax all the way around the outside. Great stuff. Great bravery from the man in the Williams, but Hoots is going to come back at him with the overtake button, but isn't going to make the move, and Aces versus Kings is going to be the next person to try and get through.
Here comes Avi. Avi's close right up to the back of Patty Pat like we said he would. The previous top 3 have already got themselves past Hoots Too Much, and it won't be long before they get themselves past Patty Pat, who goes defensive to the inside, trying to break the toe. Avi's going to get the slipstream. Speed Alcoholics lurking in the background as well. Patty Pat keeps the position for now. The Speed not quite close enough. Patty Pat is doing everything he can to defend.
Sorry, contact between Aces and Hoots just behind. Aces misjudging the braking zone, and Speed nearly going into the back of Avi, who brakes a little bit early to not go into the back of Patty Pat, as Aces finally gets past Hoots Too Much, who makes another mistake and simps into P6 as well. But it's all about this battle for the lead. Patty Pat holding on to the lead for now, but how long is that going to last? There's still another 10 laps to go in this, and here comes Avi! Oh my word! And there's contact between them, and Patty Pat nearly out! Did he hit the wall, Sumo? I couldn't quite tell.
He did just a little bit. I think he just got away with that, but there was a little bit of contact with the wall.
Yeah, a bit unnecessary there, but Avi is into the lead of the race, and Speed Alcoholic is going to be challenging him now in these last 9.5 laps to go. Is Speed going to be able to challenge for the race win and make amends for that spin earlier in the race? Or is Avi going to take the win? It's going to be the first win that is not going to Ayrton this season out of the first 8 races, and the only reason is because he's not here. But nonetheless, it would be a great accolade to be the first non-Ayrton race winner, and these two both vying for it. I think Womax is too far behind now, struggling to get past Patty Pat a little bit further down, who might get himself on the podium here yet. If the soft tyre runners can't get past him soon, and Womax has got that penalty as well, which is going to hamper him. But we've got to ride on board with these top 2. This is a battle for the lead, and I think it could go all the way to the end, because Avi was on pace with Speed earlier on race pace. So I think this could be a very close one all the way through.
3-second time penalty for Patty Pat. I
Oh,
don't think
dear.
that's going to affect him too much. Patty Pat goes for a spin. That's
no.
a huge crash.
Oh yeah, I
That's
see the
gotta be a
stricken
safety
car. It is another safety car. It is. The overhead cam there just didn't catch the Aston Martin spin, unfortunately, but Patty Pat out of the session. He was going so well. He's going to be gutted with that, but
I think he gave it too much at turn 5,
yeah.
and then turn 5 spat him back out.
Yeah.
Very lucky for the cars behind him not to hit the wreck of that Aston Martin.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised everyone avoided him, actually. It did look like he was pretty much on the racing line there. Vardy says, this is like having a race without Hamilton. Suddenly becomes insane to watch. Absolutely. But this is going to be music to the ears of Avi, who is going to have fewer laps to defend against speed now. I don't know if either are going to come in. They're not. Is Ace going to come in for another set of softs? No, so he stays out as well. And got to be careful of Wumax, who slows down a bit there for the Delta, I assume. Simps finds themselves in P5, and Hoots to March finds themselves in P6, with Simps with a lot of penalties further ahead. Hoots could get a top 5 finish here, which would be absolutely fantastic for the AlphaTauri. As they catch up to the safety car now. 11 drivers left in the session. We've had 6 DNFs from this race. This is our 4th safety car, and yeah, I think it's safe to say that ESRL have struggled with Albert Park today.
Yeah, like we said at the start, it's a circuit that will fight back. It will throw you out if you're not on the ball the whole way around. And it's a tight circuit as well. Those walls are very, very close, and a lot of drivers have felt the pain of that, as 6 have now retired from this race for various reasons.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you for the kind message in chat, Vardy. It's certainly an entertaining one, put it that way. But I think the battle for the race lead is going to be between these two. It's a Red Bull against a Mercedes. Where have we seen this before? But
common folk seem to love a crashy race. So, it's
they do.
Full entertainment for everybody.
Absolutely. Although I don't know if the laps under the safety car is a lot of entertainment, but the laps after the safety car have come in have so far certainly delivered in terms of the entertainment factor. Michael Massey would be very happy for sure.
Yeah. If Michael Massey was here, Tia would be allowed to overtake the safety car.
No, because any does not mean all, Sumo.
Ah, yes.
So
and
Michael Massey could just...
two,
yeah, exactly. Massey could just swing the hammer on Tia and say, screw you. And Tia wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Eat Apple has come into the pit, so he'll be down to P10. The two Hasses in last and second last on track, but they're P10 and 11, so it shows you how many DNFs there's been today.
Yeah, certainly. So, I'd like to see the penalties on the drivers have.
Yeah, so we've got 3 seconds to Wumax, 6 to Simps, to one of them being on lap, I think it was lap 2 where we got the first one. Lostock, Eat Apple and Tia all on 6 as well, so none of them are going to be able to get a promising finish today. Vardy says Tia will hold the record to highest finishing position of a lapped driver in ESRL. I think he might well do, as long as he does finish. I think he might still get a top 10 finish here, Tia, despite being a lap down. So I said earlier it was all over for him, and maybe it is in terms of actually racing people, but in terms of a good finish, it might not be after all, as I think the safety car should be in this lap.
Yeah, it should be. Tia is just coming round the final. Is that Tia or is it Eric? It is Tia. He's just coming. He's just about a corner behind now. As the safety car comes through turn 11 and 12. So Avi for... I think this is the first time he's done a restart. He'll restart the race once again.
Yeah.
He should. There's actually hoots too much as well. He's got to catch up.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. So I think we might be out another lap here. No, it is in this lap. It's a very late call from the race director, but in it comes, and Avi will lead us off to try and catch Speed Alcoholic unawares. Avi would have been hoping it would stay out another lap. But that's going to be 6 laps he's going to have to defend from the charging South African. He's gone already. Speed has seen it coming and has not been caught out there, is still right behind the Red Bull. Womack has been caught out a little bit, but it's still
all over the
not
back
too
of
bad.
Aces as well. He's looking to get the position down into turn 1. Does he know he's going to stick behind him for now? He was very, very close to the back of that Mercedes.
I'm going to keep on board with the top 2. Speed Alcoholic trying to find a way through Avi, but not yet. He sees the Red Bull lock up though, so Avi not infallible, and Speed will know that for the next 6 laps. Aces versus Kings trying to get past Womack as well. He's got to look in front and behind him, the Mercedes. He could get on the podium here today. He's got 2 drivers. He's sandwiched between 2 drivers with penalties as Lostock gets past Ayrton 2 further back for P7 and is now going to be on the charge for Moti Pallets as well. Aces trying to get himself onto the podium on track. Can he get himself a podium here? I think, would it be his first podium in ESRL? I don't do stats for this league, so I'm not sure, and my memory is not great.
I couldn't tell you.
maybe Scott can tell us. But Lostock is all over the back of the Ferrari here for P6. Is he going to make the move? No, he's not, but Eat Apple behind is looking to make the move and is going to have to stick behind for now, but Lostock still pushing Moti Pallets through Sector 3. Eat Apple's just got to watch and wait. Here comes Lostock down the inside. He dives into the penultimate corner. That's a fantastic move from the Aston Martin. Moti with nothing to say about that.
Speed is very close to the back, at the front there. He's not quite going to go for it yet. I think he'll look to go through turn 3 if he can get a better exit out of the second corner, which he does. He's going to activate that overtake button. He's going to look to the outside and then go to the inside.
He goes down the inside. There's a little bit of contact. Maybe Avi just cutting him off there, but I think it was pretty fair between the 2 of them. Speed Alcoholic not able to get through, pushing Avi through the second sector here as they come to turn number, is this turn 6, turn 8? I can't remember, but Speed Alcoholic on the overtake button has got a 10% advantage in ERS, nearly 20% does the Mercedes. So Avi is going to struggle here if he tries to just keep Speed behind and not go for the DRS into a later lap. But Aces versus Kings trying to get past Womack still, but to no avail. Avi's a 3-second time penalty. Oh no, at turn 12, and that is the battle for the race lead. Just nipped in the bud there. Nothing that Speed has to do now to get himself onto that top step of the podium. Just has to stick behind the Red Bull, but I'm sure he's going to want to get it on track because you never know what can happen in Formula 1. He still could get another penalty, could Speed, and now he's going to come into turn 1. DRS is going to be enabled, but he's not going to have it into turn 3. And the Mercedes still just behind, not able to make the move quite yet, but that's a much better exit out of turn 2 it looked like, and here comes the Mercedes again, the South African looking to take the lead on track. Avi defends to the inside, they're side by side once again. Speed round the other way, all the way around the outside, keeps the inside line, but Avi comes back at him round the outside through turn 4. Turn 5, sorry, great stuff from the Red Bull. Speed Alcoholic still stuck behind, but there's 4 laps still to go, and that penalty could really come back to haunt Avi, as it could lose him the race win here.
Yeah, Avi's really going to be kicking himself at the end of that race if that penalty does come into effect. He'll be hoping beyond all hope that Speed gets himself a penalty as well, but I'm not sure that's happening. That's Simps. He's off the track, he's in the wall. I think he'll still be able to get it going. He will. He doesn't look like he's got too much damage. But there's that inconsistency coming back, as I said it would.
Yeah, absolutely. Ayrton 2, all over the back of his teammate, further back, trying to get past into P7. It would be a good result for the newbie in his first race in ESRL, but still trying to find a way through. Lostock as well, trying to get past Aces. This 3-way battle for the podium here. Aces is winning it at the moment on penalties. Sumo, I wonder if you could do me a favor and look in Race Director to see how many warnings Speed and Aces have. Oh, Speed has got, it doesn't matter because Speed has gone for a spin. He's spun at turn 2. Oh no, it's a disaster for the Mercedes on lap 27 of 29. There's more going on up ahead as Aces gets past Womack into P2 but goes too deep. And Womack's back down the inside and Aces loses 2 positions and could lose a third to Eat Apple here. Simps with another time penalty, but Aces has lost out hugely here after that mistake. And Eat Apple could find a way through as well in the Haas, but can't quite do it. So he's going to have to wait for the DRS straight, or maybe it'll be right here because Aces doesn't get the best exit, but Eat Apple doesn't use the overtake, so doesn't make a move, and Aces stays ahead, but he's going to have to catch back up to Womack and Lostock if he wants that podium. Lostock is looking for podium as well, right behind Womack at the moment. Speed Alcoholic all the way down to P9, so that penalty situation doesn't matter after all. Sorry, I made you cut away from the actions there, Sumo, but...
yeah. Speed had 2 warnings at the time. Aces should technically have a penalty. He's got 3 warnings, but the game hasn't given him a penalty.
Maybe one of them is for a collision.
Yeah, perhaps.
As Eat Apple makes
2 warnings on 1 lap.
Oh dear. Yeah, probably one of them is a collision, but I'm sure Aces will clear that up as Lostock gets past Rumax further ahead. Into P2 goes the Aston Martin, and Avi, who looked like that penalty was going to cost him the race win, could come back and still take it here. Aces versus Kings in P4. He's still looking for a podium even after the mistake that really cost him.
Lostock's got 6 seconds.
Lostock's got 6, as Rumax only got 3. So Aces,
3, yeah.
Aces could still get himself on the podium here. 2 laps to go, and it doesn't look like Lostock and Womax are going to be able to do anything. Womax just needs to stay on the track, not get another penalty, and he will find himself on the podium here thanks to Lostock's penalty, unless Lostock can find another 1.5 seconds in the next lap and a half. I wouldn't put it past him because Womax made a little mistake there, and if he makes a few more of those, and he's out of ERS as well, Lostock isn't. So Womax could struggle here and might well not be able to get on the podium if Lostock loses out here. Eat Apple is right behind Aces, by the way, still looking for that P4 on track. Aces is all out of battery power, but Eat Apple hasn't got much in the tank either. Aces within the DRS of Womax now, so Eat Apple's going to find it a lot more difficult to get past.
Lostock seems to have quite a bit of pace at the moment. He's quite close to the back of Avi at the minute, but that's 6 seconds. Yep. It's going to mean that Avi will get it unless Avi gets himself another penalty within the final lap of this race.
Here comes Eat Apple, sorry to interrupt you. Round the outside of Aces, brakes very late, makes the move, but Aces is back round down the inside and round the outside again at the next corner. They're still side by side coming into this fast right-hander. Who's going to back out? Neither of them. And Eat Apple pays the price and goes into the wall. And that's a disaster for the Haas. It's somehow still going, but is definitely going to lose out on that top 5 position, I think, because Moti Perez is going to get past before the end. Aces versus Kings still just behind Womax. Lostock trying to get past Avi as well. Look at the pace that the Aston Martin has. Speed Alcoholic back up into P6. Here comes Lostock now. Is he going to have the pace to get past the Red Bull? I don't think so. I don't think he's quite close enough. So Avi is going to take the win on track, and that extra penalty for Lostock really going to cost him. But it's not going to cost him a podium because Womax is 3.4 seconds down. So I think it's going to be Avi and then Aces and then Lostock for the final podium here. As they come across the line, Avi challenged by Lostock right at the end. Who's going to win it on track? I think it's going to be Lostock. No, it's Avi who takes the win on track and on penalties, of course, in the Australian Grand Prix. Aces versus Kings comes in P2. The lack of penalties really paying off for the Mercedes. And Lostock takes a podium position in ESRL. I'm sure he'll be ecstatic with that. Womax P4, a good result for him. Moti Perez P5. Speed P6 in the end. Maybe that was a glitch. I don't know if Speed had penalties. He might have done. I can't remember. Ayrton 2, just 16 thousandths of a second behind the Mercedes, but still a P7 result. Not too bad for the Ferrari. Hoots too much DNF'd right at the end as well on the last corner, and Simps has gone for a spin as well at turn 11 on the last lap. So everyone losing their cars in these last couple of laps. But all of them will still be classified. Eat Apple, I still don't know how the hell Eat Apple did not lose a wheel with that crash. That was a heavy collision with the wall. But Simps just waiting for the Alfa Romeo to come across the line, still helmetless in that Alfa Romeo, and goes for another bit of a slide. Just trying to entertain the commentary stream with some drifting performances as he comes around the last corner to finish off this race.
Now, interestingly, without penalties, that race would have been won by Avi by 0.05 of a second.
Wow. That is quite something. Lostock down to P3 in the end, but wow, that would have been such a close battle for the lead right at the end if it weren't for that extra penalty. Such a shame for the Aston Martin. But there we go. Penalties do count in the end. You've got to stay within track limits. Motorpedets gets driver of the day, but I think honestly it could have gone to anyone here. That was a carnage-filled race. My personal driver of the day, I think I'm going to give it to Avi. Just prevailed through all of the carnage to take the race win under extreme pressure from speed, and then at the end from Lostock, and held his nerve, kept it on track, and took the race win. So well done to Avi. Last season's runner-up on that.
Yeah, I think my personal driver of the day goes to Womack. I think he's done really well today. He's qualified P11, just outside the top 10, and due to safety cars, found himself in the right place at the right time, and could have easily got himself a podium today. Just missed out on it by the tiniest of margins. He's done fairly well, and it's as Vardy said in the comments, it's his highest finishing position in ESRL. So
wow.
Well done. As well as Lostock, which is his first podium, Avi's first win, and Tier, of course, being the highest finishing lapped car.
Yeah, P11 for him. Avi, Aces, Lostock, Womax, Motorpedets, Speed Alcoholic, Ayrton 2, Eat Apple, Simps, Who's Too Much, Tier, Patty Pat, Amir, Myra, Nath Clark, Infamous, and Sakari. I beat the clock at the end to get all 17 in. But Patty Pat all the way down to Sicario, all not able to finish the race. And that will be a chaotic Grand Prix at Albert Park. Which was won by Avi by only 9/10 of a second from Aces in the end. Aces was very close. If it weren't for that mistake, Aces would have won this race, Sumo.
Yeah.
But yeah, shame for him. Lostock had a massive amount of pace at the end, but that extra penalty costing him even P2 in the end. But 5 thousandths was the gap, as you said, between them at the line. But great stuff. A lot of drivers getting their highest finishes in ESRL, and well done to them. And I think in carnage-filled races like these, it can feel like you don't deserve it when you get your highest finish ever, but I think personally I take the stance that if everyone else can't finish the race and you can, then you are the better driver. Yeah.
As Michael Schumacher once said, to finish first you have to finish.
Absolutely.
And it may not have been first, but you finished the race.
Exactly. I think everyone who's finished the race, well done to you for holding your nerve despite everything that was happening and getting it to the end. But wow, what an exciting race in Australia. I hope you all enjoyed in the chat. It sounds like you did. And thank you for the kind messages about the commentary. It's always a pleasure here in ESRL. And thank you all for watching and leaving a like. We're up to 7 likes, which is fantastic, because I think we only had 7 people watching. So that means everyone has given the stream a like. So thank you so much to all of you. And we'll be back next week for more ESRL. But in the meantime, I have been Ghost.
And I have been Sumo.
And we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Zara.